Hello and welcome to Lights, Camera, Action, M&S on film. My name is Catherine. I'm part of the team that looks after the Marks & Spencer archive collection in Leeds. Our collection includes almost 72,000 items, including papers, photographs, vintage merchandise, dating from 1884 to the present. As part of Heritage Open Days 2020, this is an introduction to M&S on film, sharing some gems from the archive collection, including some of my absolute favourites for you to enjoy safely wherever you are. You may even want to have some popcorn to hand. Although this is pre-recorded, I'm online now and able to respond to comments or questions if you want to type these in either during the running time of the recording or for the following hour. In total, we have over 900 films in the archive collection. They vary in running time from adverts of just a few seconds to lengthy internal training films, but by my expert calculations, it would take you about 5 weeks of solid back-to-back viewing to work your way through the entire collection. So I've selected some highlights for you, and we're sharing these clips for your personal enjoyment. They can't be used or shared by you in any way without permission from the M&S Company archive. As several of the films we'll be looking at today are adverts from the mid-20th century, I thought it might be helpful to do a quick summary of how M&S advertised and marketed itself in its earlier decades. M&S began as a humble penny bazaar in Leeds in 1884, growing to a chain of bazaars in market halls by the early 1900s. There's very little evidence of newspaper or magazine advertising in those very early years. We largely relied on word of mouth for customers to hear about the range of quality haberdashery items that we were selling for just 1 penny. In 1909, our first known form of advertising emerged, the Grand Annual. It was a promotional magazine that we produced right up until the First World War, advertising all sorts of items, and these are just a couple of examples. By the 1920s, we've moved into department stores on high streets up and down the country, and our range of products has really expanded and includes products that are still affordable for our customers but are more luxurious. And the key message is the quality of our goods. You might be spending 5 shillings on this product, but it'll be the best quality you can get for your money anywhere. So we start to use more sophisticated, aspirational advertising in print media. And here's a lovely stylised example from a customer magazine in 1932, showing elegant people in comfortable surroundings rather than simply showing a product by itself. But it wasn't just print advertising that we relied on. Our store windows were an essential part of how we attracted customers. This artistically arranged window display from the 1930s seeks to entice Christmas shoppers to consider our gloves as the perfect Christmas gift for friends and relatives. Special teams of window dressers changed the displays in our store windows as often as every day to highlight as many of our goods as possible to passers-by on the busy high streets where our stores were located. The need for blackout precautions and protective window taping in the Second World War limited the use of our store windows as a way to entice customers. And print advertising was affected too, with newspaper and magazine production affected by paper shortages. We do have some newspaper adverts, often for new store launches, and this image was first used in the late 1930s. It tended to be used in local newspapers across the UK where a new M&S store was opening or an existing store had been extended and refurbished. And this portrayal of an idealised family is aimed at the housewife as our target customer, who we felt was the person making the choices about clothing for herself, her children, and even her husband. When all the wartime restrictions and shortages finally came to an end in the 1950s, customers had more disposable income, and we were able to offer a much larger choice of goods. It really was a boom time for consumerism, and that's reflected in our advertising with bright, colourful images referencing changing consumer habits such as increased leisure time and increased travel. We had our own in-house magazine featuring lots of promotional images, but adverts were also placed in external publications. For example, the image on the right is part of our first colour advert spread in Woman magazine in 1958. And that brings us nicely up to a big moment for M&S in the late 1950s. We started to explore the world of cinema advertising for the first time. It really made sense to advertise in the cinema, as few people had TVs at home, but the cinema was very popular, with weekly cinema trips a popular treat across our core customer audiences. This first film we're going to look at is one of the earliest surviving film adverts in our collection, and it gives us the chance to see how our store interiors looked at this period. We follow Gloria on a shopping trip to M&S. She's looking to buy some All-On knitwear. All-On was an early synthetic fabric. Its popularity had really taken off in the 1950s. It was warm, soft to the touch, strong and shrink resistant, making it ideal for knitwear, as Gloria finds out. The sound quality isn't great, but I hope you'll still be able to enjoy it.
What a lovely morning. Just right for shopping. It's Jim's birthday next week. I'll buy him a sweater from Marks & Spencer. They look nice. All on. I'll have a look. I always like shopping at Marks & Spencer. Clean, bright, such pleasant service. These look lovely. All on. What beautiful colors and styles. And of course there's St. Michael. There's always something new at Marks & Spencer. So soft. Fully fashioned, only 35 and 11. It's just the thing for me to wear at the party. All on is so fashionable. You feel right. Well dressed. Yes, I must get this. Those chunkies in All on are only 57 and 6. That's wonderful value. And sweaters, too. All on so luxurious, warm yet light as air. They keep their shape however much you wear them. The whites are pure white, it stays white. All the lovely colors stay fresh and bright. All on so easy to wash. A gentle swish and a thorough rinse. Dry flat and don't iron. It can't shrink, comes up like new. There are so many St. Michael clothes in All on. Socks for men, for boys and girls, underwear for me, and girls' cardigans in All on. Dear, it looks sweet in this. And I mustn't forget the chunky sweater for Jim. Only 65 shillings.
All St. Michael clothes in All-On are wonderful value, good quality, at prices you can afford. You can buy St. Michael only at Marks & Spencer. And St. Michael clothes in All-On for all the family are in your Marks & Spencer now.
As we went into the 1960s, we began to create more lavish and often award-winning adverts for our clothing ranges. And archive records show that an increasing proportion of our marketing budget was dedicated solely to cinema adverts. These adverts were designed to look as glossy and have as much Hollywood glamour as the films that they were screened alongside. This advert, A is for Acrilan from 1963, quite literally sings the praises for the fabric Acrilan. With lively music and dance routines, this fabric is aimed at the whole family who can be spick and span in St. Michael Acrilan. The advert was shown in 500 cinemas, and M&S managers were given details of local showings so that staff could go and see it.
Acrilan, Acrilan, St. Michael Acrilan, smart as a button as anyone can see. Acrilan, Acrilan, washable Acrilan, for the family. Come on and try St. Michael clothes with Acrilan. The finest you can buy, yes, St. Michael Acrilan. Acrilan, bony Acrilan. There's a cotton tool, it's nothing when it's made with Acrilan. We smarter than the average pen in St. Michael Acrilan. You cannot find no better than St. Michael Acrilan. Acrilan, St. Michael Acrilan. They're nice and neat and fully feet, 1,000 Acrilan. Keep all the family spick and span in St. Michael Acrilan. Just follow the St. Michael plan with thrifty Acrilan. Chunky sweaters for men. Shapely skirts with permanent teeth. New St. Michael coat. So light. So warm. And wonderfully washable. And huggable too. Everyone loves Acrilan. Get St. Michael Acrilan. Buy St. Michael Acrilan. Everything in Acrilan. Buy St. Michael Acrilan. Get St. Michael Acrilan. From Marks and Spencer.
This next clip is a little different. Plan for Development from 1963 discusses how stores were being rebuilt, expanded and modernised to make shopping more comfortable for customers. The film shows the new style for store interiors, including island counters and floor standing rails for hanging garments. You might also spot the no smoking signs, which were a new feature on our sales floor long before there was a legal requirement for this to be in place. You get a glimpse of our stores and our fashions, but also foods and even behind the scenes to staff facilities.
This is a plan for development. The development of your Marks & Spencer store. Rebuilt, expanded, modernized to make shopping more comfortable. Designed to meet your needs. Take this impressive frontage. New doors, more of them. Easier to enter. Room to move. More space, more counters. And plenty of room between. All to give you an even wider choice of St. Michael goods. There's a wonderful selection of luxury lingerie. Menswear styled for every age. School clothes and playwear for boys and girls. Up-to-date fashions and fabrics in dresses and suits, blouses and skirts, and an ever-changing variety of colourful casual wear and famous knitwear. All St. Michael, the hallmark of quality. And for the staff, superb facilities like this modern lounge and dining room. And thinking of foods, you can buy fresh, crisp biscuits, selected fruit, oven-fresh cakes, and a wide variety of canned foods, all from the enlarged, easy-service food section. For the pleasure of more comfortable shopping, for a wider range of famous St. Michael goods, visit your new Marks & Spencer store.
In the mid-1960s, whenever a new store opened, we advertised in cinemas in the local area. This next clip is an advert for a new store opening in Glasgow in 1966. So this screened in the local cinemas in the run-up to that opening.
Marks & Spencer's new store, the biggest ever, opens tomorrow in Glasgow's Argyle Street. For famous summer fashions, menswear and foods. All St. Michael, all top quality, top value. 2 spacious sales floors with 6 escalators and staircases. Child's wear, teenage clothes, luxury lingerie. Yes, the full St. Michael range at the new and biggest ever Marks & Spencer, Argyle Street, Glasgow. Opens tomorrow.
Time for a change of tone with a tongue-in-cheek advert that is certainly of its era. It was awarded a diploma at the 9th International Advertising Film Festival in Cannes, and it presents a caricature of a well-to-do bachelor in the 60s, a definite nod to a Terry Thomas type rogue. He has a comfortable lifestyle, but I think he's probably a bit lonely. Various women are modelling the new Tricell clothing ranges, and they appear as if by magic behind the bookcase, in the wardrobe and in picture frames. The advert demonstrates the versatility of Tricell fabric, showing that it can be used to produce jersey, artificial silk and linen look finishes. It is very of its time, not just in terms of gender politics, and it reminds me of a Rock Hudson, Doris Day 60s sex comedy, but also the on-screen smoking.
From the quiet dignity of his typical bachelor flat, the typical bachelor speaks.
The life of a single man has many compensations. Good wine, pleasant surroundings, time. Time to appreciate the simple things in life.
What could be simpler than this St. Michael dress in Tricell from the new range at Marks & Spencer?
Yes, the simple things, like the comfort of a favorite chair.
This permanently pleated dress in Tricell jersey will be your favorite.
One can surround oneself with a few well-chosen possessions.
This dressing gown, Tricell, with the look of silk.
You could call me a connoisseur. There are times when one feels one's missing something.
This luxury lingerie is St. Michael Tricell satin, beautifully trimmed.
Lonely? Why should a bachelor feel lonely when he can find companionship in these pages?
Tricell foulard scarf blouses, gaily printed, teamed with skirts made with Tricell, all from Marks & Spencer.
Yes, a bachelor has the best of all worlds. My taste is simple, but exquisite. My wardrobe is in the height of fashion.
Tricell stays bandbox fresh, whatever the occasion.
And here among my paintings, I spend many an hour contemplating the splendid design and color of these modern masterpieces.
Pastels that glow, new rough-spun weaves with the look of linen, lovely embroideries. See the exciting new ranges made with Tricell at Marks & Spencer.
Yes, a bachelor's life has many compensations.
Surround yourself with clothes in Tricell, the fibre made by man.
With woman in mind.
St. Michael clothes in Tricell from your Marks & Spencer.
This film features children having a great day out at a fun fair, wearing M&S dresses, sweaters and cardigans in Acrilan. The tone is quite light-hearted, but it's interesting to see the way the advert refers to a child as a consumer. Remember that all of the advertising in this period is aimed at the housewife who's making the decisions about new clothes purchases for the whole family. The advert tells us that a child is a consumer of sweets, energy, time and everyone's patience. It's the first cinema advert I'm showing you today that's made by an agency other than Sword Baker, and I think you'll see it is a different style. It's interesting to see references to childhood aspirations. Some, such as Batman and possibly Lady Penelope, have probably stood the test of time better than Ina Sharples from Coronation Street.
What is a child? Marks & Spencer know. A child is a consumer. of sweets, time, energy, and everyone's patience. A child comes in hundreds of shapes and sizes. St. Michael all fits them all. A child never tires of finding out and being found out. To a child, clothes are a disguise. Underneath you'll find Batman, Lady Penelope, Ina Sharples. A child growing up in, but never out of, St. Michael Orlon. Whatever a child is, there's a size and a style to fit it. Him, her, them, us, in St. Michael Orlon at Marks & Spencer.
Back to a Sard Baker production for M&S now. I mentioned earlier that our cinema adverts often referenced the style of film releases that were popular at the time, and I think you'll recognise this as a slick 60s thriller. It's a hunt for knitwear. It was filmed in Stockholm, and the action is set in a very modern shopping precinct. It was physically applauded by cinema audiences in London, and an in-house M&S report stated that spontaneous applause is extremely rare with cinema audiences nowadays, but reports coming in from the provinces confirm that the film is having the same reception there. And we know from the archive collection that the Blackpool store arranged for a special screening of this advert for store staff at Blackpool's ABC Theatre. It's unusual in that it focuses on wool rather than on one of our man-made wonder fabrics, but it's a very different feel of advert, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thursday afternoon, the 12th. I'm sitting in a hotel on the smart side of town waiting for a lead. So far, I haven't much to go on. Just these. A few pieces of cloth that add up to the secret behind WOOL, World Organization for Overindulgence in Luxury. We call it wool. Then suddenly, I get the break I've been waiting for. Across the room comes this girl in the winter white three-piece double jersey suit. She looks great, so I check. She's in WOOL, all right. Right away, there's a tip-off. These people in wool move fast. This was no accident. This had the hallmark of wool, cerise wool jersey, and she looked as if she'd been poured into it. It figures. 3 seconds later, I'm out of the door, and I'm just too late. This is Monique, our man on the inside. She tells me that some of the smartest people in town are in WOOL now. The cab in front stops. A girl gets out. She's wearing a two-piece suit in lamb's wool. This fools me for a minute, then I get it. They worked a switch. Same girl, different suit. Suddenly, it looks as if everybody's in wool, all with the look, the feel, the touch of luxury. It begins to make a pattern. Yes, things are on the move. That night finds me at Roy's Club, hang out for the smartest operators in town. And everyone here is in WOOL, lamb's wool, Shetland wool, botany wool, wool jersey. It all fits. Then I had the answer. It was the names on the labels that told me, not just wool, but British wool knitwear by St. Michael from Marks & Spencer. This combination was unbeatable. I knew what I had to do. You're right. I'm in wool myself now. St. Michael from Marks & Spencer. Naturally.
One of the popular genres of films in the 1960s was, of course, the musicals. And this next advert has an attractive monochrome stage setting and dancers performing a routine to a very catchy tune about Terraline. Terylene was a light, crease-resistant polyester fabric that could be given permanent pleats and was colour-fast. The Advert's tune was written by Paddy Roberts, an Ivor Novello Award winner, and it was filmed over 3 days at Pinewood Studios. There's a dance sequence in the middle section, which focuses on slacks, that's very reminiscent of Gap adverts in the 1990s, if you're of that vintage.
Sing a little song about Terylene. Terylene made the St. Michael way. Nothing's ever wrong about Terylene. Terylene made the St. Michael way. So come to Marks & Spencer and look at the fine display of fabulously beautiful, wonderful Terylene made the St. Michael way. So chic, so sleek. The styling is beguiling and unique. And the pleats are made to stay, and the colors bright and gay make you pretty as a picture, so to speak. The suits are fashionable and washable and always look like new. And these St. Michael shirts, really smart, aren't they? Slacks for girls, beautifully styled. And slacks for men, casual shirts too. Easy to take care of, easy on the eye, and oh so easy on the pocket. St. Michael plus Terylene equals top of the class. Terylene, terylene, terylene. Sing a little song about Terylene. Terylene made the St. Michael way. Nothing's ever wrong about Terylene. Terylene made the St. Michael way. So come to Marks & Spencer and look at the fine display of fabulously beautiful, wonderful Terylene made the St. Michael way. From Marks & Spencer.
Now, it seems only fair to try and get that catchy Terylene song out of your head. So next, here's a dreamlike studio setting with women wearing various outfits before the shot fades to reveal the shapewear that they're wearing underneath, demonstrating the stretch of new fabric lycra. In the 1960s, shapewear like this was everyday items for most women. And M&S designed shapewear that was figure perfecting, but also light and comfortable, while making it luxurious and pretty. It was available in light, medium and firm control, and a range of different shapes and styles to be worn under different outfits. For example, the panty girdle was produced with detachable suspenders so that it could be worn under trousers or slacks.
She is elegant, poised, assured. She is the woman of today with the secret of figure perfection. Her secret? This new lightweight corselet by St. Michael with lycra. Lycra, the new man-made fibre with spring-back stretch. Strength. With more control than ever before, yet light as gossamer. For every outfit, there is the right St. Michael brown girdle with lycra. Beautifully made, delightfully trimmed with lovely lace. With slacks, the panty girdle. With detachable suspenders. A revolution in bras. Bras with stretch straps which stay where they're put. Stretch straps, stretch back. Wonderfully comfortable, superb in wear. A
high-line girdle from the attractive range for all figure types. St. Michael. Light, medium, and firm control girdles. Luxurious comfort with figure perfection. St. Michael bras and girdles with lycra. Only from Marks and Spencer.
My next pick for you is The Wool Collector, a 1966 advert, and it features actor Gordon Rowlings, who was born in Batley, not too far from the M&S Company archive in Leeds. During his early career, he was part of a circus in Paris. He featured in various comedy films in the 60s, early 70s. This advert sees the wool collector travelling around using various modes of transport, collecting M&S wool clothing being worn by women, with clothing labels being used as travel tickets. The film was produced for M&S in conjunction with the International Wool Secretariat, and again, it's very of its time.
This man is a wool collector. He collects only wool by St. Michael from Marks and Spencer. He prefers his wool with girls inside. Girls wearing Shetland and lamb's wool jumpers, cardigans and skirts. His uncanny collector's instinct leads him to girls in British wool knitwear by St. Michael. It's no wonder that men hate him. He strikes with precision, for he knows that girls in exciting wool jersey suits find him irresistible. In his never-ending search for girls in British wool knitwear, our hero takes to the river with his latest capture of stylish jersey dresses. Traveling by bus can be fun, especially with music, champagne, and 17 beautiful girls. If you see this man carrying a suitcase containing 17 girls, all beautifully dressed in British wool knitwear, please get in touch with Marks and Spencer.
This next film clip is something rather different, a documentary made for a Swedish audience. This 1964 film looks at M&S through the eyes of a Swedish visitor. I won't show you the whole film as it's quite long, but I've chosen an extract which gives you a flavour of the customer experience in M&S stores in the period and the range of goods on offer. It also touches on quite a few interesting points, from the fact that M&S was one of the last clothing retailers to introduce fitting rooms in stores to high levels of food waste, measured in hours, not even days, at a time when there were few refrigerated food cabinets. The narrator also says at one point that M&S doesn't pay for advertising apart from to launch a new product, but as you've already seen today, that's not actually the case. M&S was advertising in cinemas throughout this period. I think the narrator is referring to the fact that even with big budget cinema adverts, M&S's advertising budget was only a fraction of that spent on advertising by many other retail chains and brand names. I think that's the point the narrator's trying to make.
We shall now visit one of Marks and Spencer's shops in London, at Paddington.
Boys' school. Would these stand up to hard washing, do you think?
Yes, madam.
Why do you shop here?
I buy all my nightwear here because I think the colours and models are so sweet.
Sleepers, please.
I shop here because I think the quality and everything is so good. And the sizes fit me exactly, and their material is so nice and modern.
Marks & Spencer's motto is quality and good service. An important principle is that the assortment is rigorously pruned down.
It looks as though prices for children's clothes are considerably lower than in Sweden.
The wares are displayed in a very conspicuous manner. The customers can help themselves to a fair extent. They can make their own choices. But here, self-service in our meaning of the word doesn't exist. For you can get whatever assistance you want whenever you need it. Mrs. Bird has a lot of shopping to do, but she doesn't have to carry around everything that she buys. She makes use of a purchase card with an individual number, and there every purchase is written down.
Could you put it on the shopping card for me? And,
Her purchases are inscribed with the same number and sent to a place in the shop where they are all assembled together. And there she makes her first and only payment for everything.
Marks & Spencer don't advertise. Only when they introduce a new type of goods do they seek help from advertising. But as a general rule, they don't need to advertise. Our customers look after that, they say. Those 18 million customers who every week go shopping in our stores, in principal streets in all the most important towns in England.
And I want some vests as well. But that's on a different counter.
Here you won't find fitting rooms. By never introducing them, they have been able to use every square yard for selling. Sometimes people buy foolishly, but all you have to do is to change the goods in question. It works no matter where you have bought the object. You can change wherever you like in a Marks & Spencer shop over the whole of Britain. All goods are the same price everywhere. You can exchange for another number to another type of goods, or you can get your money back cash in hand.
Good morning. I bought this skirt here the other day, and I'm afraid it's too short for me.
We don't do longer lengths. Is there anything else you'd like?
No, I don't think so. Could I have a refund for my money?
Certainly, madam.
The shop assistant rings a bell and a supervisor comes hurrying and authorizes the refund or exchange. Some of Marks & Spencer's goods can occasionally be bought in certain shops in Sweden, but the prices can vary substantially.
Foodstuffs and fruit account for 15% of the sales, and here you can take advantage of complete self-service. Here too the selection is severely limited. To a great extent they keep to tin foods and other goods that can be packed at the place of production with the aid of modern technique. Just now, after my visit, they have been debating the sale of fresh meat. Marks & Spencer consider that they can't rely on getting the qualities they desire, and so they completely refrain from selling, at least until a later date. The standard of hygiene is perfect, both here and also behind the scenes.
If you ask them to prove the quality of their goods, they smile, perhaps in a slightly superior fashion. They consider their trademark to be the best guarantee. On these confectionery wares, there's a label which reads, "This should be consumed within so and so many hours from the time of purchase." Poultry, cakes and pastries with fresh cream and, for example, donuts never lie for more than a day in this store. Therefore, a fair amount of foodstuffs must be disposed of. An Israeli student who worked in the warehouse has related how amazed he was at the amount of consumable goods that had to be thrown away every day. Some of them are sold at greatly reduced prices to the staff.
Let's move forward in time a little bit now, taking you to about 1972, and this TV advert promotes M&S as a place to work in the early 1970s, encouraging people to join M&S and become one of Britain's favourite salesgirls. M&S staff perks included a subsidised 3-course lunch and an affordable shampoo and set. We also often advertise roles in our staff magazine, encouraging current sales assistants to recommend their friends and family.
Join Marks & Spencer Oxford Street and be one of Britain's favourite sales girls. £28 a week at 18. £29 after 3 months. Plus cost of living supplement of £1.20 a week. A 3-course lunch for only 5 pence. Shampoo and set for 30 pence. A 5-day week with 2 out of 3 Saturdays off. Holiday arrangements honoured and a bonus at Christmas. Full or part-time. Apply to Marks & Spencer Marble Arch or Oxford Circus tomorrow.
Staying at the same period, the early 1970s, this food TV advert is one of a series made to promote our food lines. M&S in the 60s had become the first major retailer to sell fresh rather than frozen chicken. This meant that our customers could buy fresh chicken in store, which had improved flavour and texture compared to frozen meat, and it was achieved through an M&S innovation known as the cold chain process, something we're all very familiar today, the idea of refrigerated lorries transporting goods to store and those goods being displayed in chilled cabinets to keep it fresh. In the 1960s, new chill display counters were installed in more of our food halls to display goods like this.
At Marks & Spencer, our chickens and chicken portions are now at lower prices. St. Michael chickens are tender, full of flavour and fresh, not frozen. We just chill them gently. In fact, we take a lot of care to make them taste like chickens used to taste, and they're specially bred for plenty of breast meat.
That is good.
It's a pretty good price, too.
The price is right because St. Michael quality is so good.
Again, from the same series of adverts, this one moves on to coordinated home furnishings with matching bedding, curtains and rugs, even mix and match towels and bath mats that are easy to care for and machine washable. As you'll see, it's very much the beginning of the concept of very coordinated homeware ranges.
At Marks & Spencer, we've a whole range of coordinated home furnishings in bold prints and plain colours. These curtains cost £6.75 a pair and mix and match with the sheets, blankets, bedspread and rug. And for the bathroom, towels that mix and match with the bathroom sets. And they're all easy care, machine washable.
They look good together.
Yes, and this sheet was only £4.99. That's a pretty good price.
The price is right because St. Michael quality is so good.
For our final film, I'm taking you back to the early 1960s just because it's my absolute favourite film in our entire collection. Returning to the realm of cinema advertising, it shows how Terylene can be very glamorous but also practical and hard-wearing. For example, you'll see that a gentleman can look smart in non-iron Terylene trousers but also be able to play golf in them or even fix the car by the roadside if needed and still be presentable. I should just make clear that M&S in no way condones the beating of small children, and having said that, let's go.
Let's go to Marks & Spencer, go and see what's new in Terylene, yes, Terylene for you and you and you. Styled for St. Michael, everything's on show. There at Marks & Spencer, so let's go.
St. Michael shirts and trousers with Terylene. Perfect for playing around in. Look better, last longer, shed wrinkles faster, and no pressing.
Let's go to Marks & Spencer. always on the ball. With Terraline, yes, Terraline, you've got no cares at all. St. Michael skirts and blouses glamorize you so. Let's go to Marks and Spencer, oh, let's go. Wherever you are, out in the car, or waiting to make a start, if you see him, Terraline, well, go, man, go. You're oh so smart, let's go, go, go.
It's the latest. St. Michael Terraline is tops, whatever you're up to. Especially for people who are going places, because it wears and wears and wears.
Go for Marks and Spencer rainwear. It always looks like new. And Terraline, yes, Terraline won't let those raindrops through. The styles are so attractive, the colors seem to glow. They're at Marks and Spencer, so let's go, come on, let's go to Marks and Spencer. So much there to see in Terraline, yes, Terraline, for the family. Let's go, go, go.
Visit your Marks and Spencer.
I really hope you've enjoyed this look at some of the films in our archive collection. It really is just the tip of the iceberg. The archive is currently closed, but you can contact us by email with any questions. You can follow us on Twitter, and you'll find lots of content that you can explore on our website. And keep your eyes peeled, because we have plans for more online events and online content coming soon. I'm going to be hanging around for the next hour or so to respond to any questions or comments, but thanks very much for your company.